Hi there, and welcome to Practice 45. There is very little math to do in this practice, if any. These are thinking questions, and they're asking us to identify statistical questions. And so you will need to watch the lesson video before you try this one, but let's take a look at these. I'm on page 50 of the workbook. And let's think about statistical questions. Number 1, which is a statistical question? And when I read this, I think about countability. Can I count the information, the data? So A says, what is your shoe size? That is countable. It's a number. So I'm going to call that countable. Did the track coach buy new shoes? That's categorical. That's yes or no. So that is not one of my choices. What are the shoe sizes of the bowling team? That is definitely countable information. Did Alex get a shoe sponsorship after he won nationals? That's a yes, no. That's categorical. So that is not a statistical kind of thing. So we have two answers that involve countable things, numbers. Shoe size is really categorical because you are either one size or another. You won't be both. C is the answer that we're looking for. We could make a chart or a graph about the shoe sizes of the whole team as opposed to just one shoe size. That would just be a dot on a graph. But C, if we talk to the whole bowling team, we could make a very nice graph of that. So that is a statistical question. Think of countable, think of graphs. Can I graph this? Or would I want to graph it? And that will help you. Number 2, which is not a statistical question? Which TV shows get the highest ratings? Ratings are countable. And not only are they countable, this is groups. You could graph that data. What time does the show start on Wednesday? This is just one answer, one time. Which sequels have the greatest box office returns? That's countable. How have the ratings of your favorite show changed since it first aired? That's countable. I can graph that. I could show change over time with that one. The one that is not statistical is B. We're just asking a simple question. It's not a yes-no question, but it just has one answer. Number 3, which is a statistical question? Who published the book? That's one answer. How many books were sold today? That one sounds good. That's countable. C, how many books did the author write? That's countable. This is just one answer. How do book sales in stores throughout Idaho compare with sales in Ohio? There's a word I'm looking for. Statistical questions compare. So this one is countable. You can count the sales in each state, but we also can compare them. So of my choices, D is the best one. as a statistical question because you can compare it. Statistics allow us to compare one thing to another thing, or one person to another person, or one group to another group. So if there's comparisons, it's very often statistical. Number 4, which is not a statistical question. Which dog food brands are the most popular with Cockapoo owners? So we're comparing brands. We're counting them and comparing them. How much weight do puppies gain each week? That's countable. It's also something that you can compare. You compare week 1 to week 2 to week 3 and so on. How many dogs are registered with the city? That is countable for sure. But there is only one answer. It may be 1,000, it may be 1,005, it may be 10,000, but there's just one answer. It's countable one time. Who agrees that Cockapoos are cuter than boxers? This is countable. We can count people's opinions. It's also allowing us to compare between two types of dogs. So the ones that, all of them are countable this time, but C only has one answer, and that's not statistical. That's just an information kind of thing. Number 5. Which question has only one answer? Which question has only one answer? How many orthopedists are listed in the directory? Which local orthopedists specialize in knee surgery? How many athletes tear an ACL each year? Which injuries are most common for different types of sports? This is a tough one for me, and it may be for you. We're looking for one that just has one answer. It's just a flat out, here's the answer. And it is A. So let me tell you about B. Which local orthopedists specialize in knee surgery? This would be the names of many doctors. Not just one doctor, many doctors, or several doctors. How many athletes tear an ACL each year? In this one, we're comparing years. The first year would have an answer, the second year would have an answer. So we are comparing years. Which injuries are most common for different types of sports? In this one, we're comparing injuries and sports. So that is not a one answer kind of thing. A will be a number. It may be 50, it may be 5,000, it may be 0, but it will be one fixed answer. They're making us think on this lesson or on this practice. Number 6, which is not a statistical question? Which is not a statistical question. Does your son want oatmeal for breakfast? That is yes or no. Which restaurants offer a Friday night fish fry? This one would give me a list of restaurants or a list of names. Which snacks are requested during a sleepover? That would be a list of snacks, like potato chips, candy bars. It would be a whole list of things. Which breakfast is preferred by people attending a morning meeting? Again, this would be a list of breakfast items. So the one that doesn't involve different choices, that is a yes or no question, is A. That's not statistical. That is just a categorical yes or no. Number 7, which is not a statistical question. Is there a height requirement to be a firefighter? Yes or no? What are the heights of firefighters at Station 10? That would be a list of numbers. How do heights of firefighters compare with heights of police officers? If there's comparing, there's statistics. How have average heights of firefighters changed over the last 20 years? We're comparing 20 years. So again, if there's comparison, it is statistical. If there's a list of numbers, it is statistical. Yes or no is not a statistical question. Number 8, which is a statistical question. Did he run on the trail? That's a yes or a no, and we know that that is not a statistical question. What time does the trail open? That is a fixed time. It's not a list of times. It's one specific time. What is the total distance of the running trail? That is a fixed number. It's either a mile or 2 miles or 1.5 miles, but it does not vary. How have your times improved over the last year? There's the comparing. You're comparing now to a year ago. So which of these is a yes to a statistical question? It is D. Number 9. Which 2 questions have only one answer? Which video games are favored by adults? That would give me a list of games. How long did Jim play the game last night? That is a fixed time. That's one answer. So B is one of them. We can go ahead and mark that one. He either played for an hour or 5 hours, but it was one fixed time. What are the ages of the top ranked players? That would be a list of ages. Which video game had the most downloads last month? That is definitely countable, but it would be the one top game. That is a one answer question. So there is the other one. But let's look at the other 2 just to see what we've got. How do the favorite games of teenagers change over time? That is statistical. What are your rankings since you started playing the game? So this is comparing your rankings then and now. So the 2 that don't involve comparison or any kind of listing are B and D. Number 10, which is a statistical question? What is the length of Bill's fence? That is a fixed number. It can be 10 feet, it can be 20 feet, it can be 1,000 feet, but it is a fixed number. Same with B. What is the square footage of Joe's garage? or yard, excuse me. That is a fixed number. It won't change tomorrow. What are the sizes of the yard in Joe's neighborhood? Okay, now this one, let's think about this one. It's definitely countable. Okay. It would give me a list of sizes. So maybe, possibly that's it. How much larger is Catherine's yard than Charlotte's yard? That's subtraction. That would give me a fixed number. Whatever the difference is, it's not going to change. It's fixed. So which of these is a statistical question? You got it. Number 11, which is not a statistical question. Read carefully. How many eggs, that's countable, are in that nest? It's one nest. B, how far can different species of birds fly without stopping? We are comparing in this one. What are the migration patterns of geese over the last 20 years? We are comparing in this one. We're not comparing the geese, we're comparing the patterns over 20 years. I need to plug in my laptop or my iPad. Which species of songbirds were spotted in West Virginia last month? Comparing the groups, we're also counting the groups. The question is which of these is not statistical? And it's A, because we're not comparing that nest to any other nest. We are just counting the eggs in one nest. And that is a fixed answer. If you hear noise, I am plugging in my iPad. We don't want it to die in the middle of this video because I would have to do it again. Oh, okay, we're good to go. Number 11, we did. Sorry, that's number 11 is A. Number 12, which question has only one answer? What types of chairs offer ergonomic support? Ergonomic is a chair that's ergonomic is good for you to sit on it. It supports your back, it supports your arms, it balances your weight. So that's the meaning of that word. What types of chairs? That would give me a list of chairs. We are comparing one chair to another. How many sit-ups did Jack do last Wednesday night? That is a fixed answer. It's a fixed number. He may have done 1 or 0 or 5,000, but it is a fixed number. What are the frequencies? That is statistical right there. Frequencies are those tally tables. You can do this kind of thing with frequencies. What are the frequencies of back surgery by age group? So you're comparing the number of surgeries to the ages. That's a comparison of surgeries to age. Which activities are rated highest for strengthening core muscles? So you are comparing different exercises and ranking them. That is statistical. So which of these is only one answer? That's going to be A. I'm sorry, not A, B. Number 13, which is not a statistical question. Which countries, plural, have the most scuba divers? So we are comparing countries. Which activities, plural, do guests choose at the resort? We are comparing activities. We would get a list of activities. How many times did Kristen scuba dive while on vacation? That is a fixed amount. How does participation in scuba diving compare by age group? So that one has the word compare in there. The one that's not statistical is C. That's a fixed number. And unless you compare Kristen to someone else, it's not statistical. It's just informational. It's descriptive. Number 14. Which 3 are statistical questions? Did the package arrive yet? That's yes or no. That is not statistical. How was the package shipped? That's a fixed answer. UPS, FedEx, one answer. Whatever it is, it doesn't vary. What is the cost to ship Sophie's package? That is a fixed dollar amount. Whatever she paid to ship it is not going to change. Which companies, plural, ship the most, that's a statistical word, packages? This is one of them, because this would give you a list of companies. What factors impact the cost of shipping a package? This is going to give you a list of things, like the weight of the package, maybe the weather in the area. If there's snow and ice and shipping is slower, it may cost more. Things like the price of gas could impact the cost of shipping. So this is a whole list of things that could be factors. Which methods are most, that's a good statistical word, most used for package delivery? You are comparing different methods. Do you do it by air? Do you do it by rail? Do you do it by truck? And I've seen just recently that Amazon is starting to deliver by drones. So there are different methods that can be compared. So for number 14, D, E, and F. Number 15, which is not a statistical question. What are the global market values of mattresses? This is comparing. What does a mattress cost in the United States? What does it cost in Germany? What does it cost in Australia? We're comparing those values. How do sales, there's the word, compare for the top 10, that's another clue, furniture companies? That's statistical. What size sheet is on the bed in Benjamin's spare bedroom? That is a fixed size. It's not going to vary from day to day. Which thread counts are preferred by customers buying bed sheets? We are comparing customers and their preferences. C is the fixed answer, and therefore is not statistical. Number 16, which is a statistical question. What plant is under the tree? That is a fixed answer. It could be a rose, it could be a lilac, it could be an iris, but it is fixed. Whatever it is, and it will stay. How tall are the different types of plants in your flower bed? So we're comparing different types. How many geraniums are in your flower bed? It's countable, but it's fixed. If you count 15, that's all there are. If you count them again, it'll still be 15. So it's not varying, it's the same. Don't let letter D get you confused. How many more means to subtract. How many more yellow flowers than red flowers did you plant? So at first you might say, well, I'm comparing the yellow to the red. But we're really not. We're just counting to find the difference. So whatever answer you come up with is a fixed answer. The statistical question in this one, number 16, is B. To me, that is not an easy exercise. I would much rather do math than have to think through those because words bother me. I'm a numbers person. So if that felt difficult to you, it is. It's easier, I think, for some folks than others. I'm not one of the folks for which it comes easily. I had to really work at that in school. So I hope that helped you. We will be looking at some data distributions in the next lesson. So we will get back to doing the math. And I'll see you soon for that lesson. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.